Hello, and welcome to our third reflection of this week. We've already heard this week about how our sense of smell and touch helps us to connect with Jesus. Today we are thinking about our sense of taste. What do you think of when someone mentions the word taste? Some tastes can be good and some seem bad to us. They can be good memories for us and can be comforting and relaxing. Other tastes can seem bitter and unpleasant. The taste buds on our tongue are the sensory receptors that allow us to distinguish between different tastes. These flavours are sweet and salty, bitter and sour. When we think about taste, it may bring different memories of food. Some of those may be good, some may be bad. We can sometimes recall the memory and seem to remember the taste in our mouths. You may even now be retasting that memory of a favourite ice cream. My friend Gary and I have very different tastes in foods that we dislike. Mine is Branston pickle, as I can't understand why you would put lumpy and smooth textures and flavours together. One of Gary's least favourite foods and flavours is Marmite. I've had the privilege of going to different countries and eating lots of different foods and meals, and as a guest of others I've had meals prepared for me and the results have always been amazing. My response to the different tastes has varied though, depending on whether I liked the array of flavours or not. Our story today is from Mark's Gospel, and we read about the Last Supper, the last meal that Jesus had with his disciples. I'd encourage you to read this later in Mark chapter 12, verses 13 to 26. In it we read in verse 22, "While they were eating, Jesus took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, 'Take it, this is my body.'" This meal has so much to it, but at the heart was a meal with his disciples and an explanation from Jesus of what was about to happen to him as he approached the cross, and an example to us for remembering. For many of us, we will know this was a familiar Jewish meal, and Jesus and his disciples would have shared this together before. This one was different. Jesus knew it, and so did his disciples. It was different because Jesus, through the act of breaking bread and drinking wine, was reminding his followers that he was shortly to die, and the taste of that event would be bitter and not something they wanted to happen. What do you think the disciples were thinking as they ate the familiar foods of that meal? What were they thinking and feeling as Jesus spoke again of his betrayal and death? Had the disciples become numb to the reality of what Jesus had been speaking to them about in the time before they went to Jerusalem? Are there ways that we can become numb to the enormity of what Jesus did, all that he gave up for us, that we have become too familiar with it? Tastes remind us of things, people and places, memories of happy and perhaps sad times when we shared meals with family and friends. As we journey through this week, let us bring those times that are happy and those sad memories to Jesus. Communion, the act of breaking bread and drinking wine or grape juice, is the reminder of what Jesus has done for us. We may have taken communion many times before or only once. This week, as there is opportunity to take communion, let's ask God to help us remember Jesus' death for us in a different way. It should be a reminder that his body was broken to give us abundant life. Our lives can feel broken sometimes, and God is the master at taking the broken bits of our lives and putting them back together in a way that is more amazing than we could ever imagine. What is even more amazing is that God calls us to share our lives with others, to show them that when life is tough and things feel broken, God can rescue, restore that which seems lost. He asks us if we will partner with him in his rescue story. What might God be saying to us this week about taste and our experience of him? Let's be receptive to the different ways God may be speaking to us this week, reminding us of his love for us and how we get to share that with others. God's heart is that we know him better, understand at a soul level his love for us, and then communicate that in every way that we can, with all that we can, with every means that we can, for as long as we can, to those around us. Perhaps God may be challenging us practically to pop out for lunch with a friend or invite neighbours round for a meal to get to know them better. As we continue through Holy Week and past it, let's consider the flavour that we are to others. Jesus reminded the disciples that they are to be salty to the world around them, to flavour and to preserve. How might we bring the life-giving flavour of Jesus to a world that needs his love, presence and life? Thank you.